What's going down, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of the Auto Guy DIY, dudes. So check it out, man. I put a video out earlier explaining the things we need to do. We're waiting on DIY Dad to get here right now. So in the meantime, we're gonna wire this headlight back up for the second time. Now, y'all just hang tight. I gotta explain a couple things to you before we jump into this, and then we'll jump right into it. First thing out of the gate, I have done this before. Let's go way back. I have done this before. I've had this truck 8 years, and about 5 years ago, I did this, and it worked, right? Now, the only two differences is one, I disconnected the battery, and this last go around, I did not, which was my bad. You should never do that. Now, and I have to catch myself and let y'all know that I caught myself so y'all can know that it is very important to disconnect the battery. Secondly, when I wired it up last time, I wired the driver's side to the passenger side headlight, but I also tied the passenger side headlight wiring from the truck to the headlight back in also. So I feel like the PCM is seeing too much off of that driver's side light, and that's why they're shutting off while he's going down the road. So with that being stated, y'all just sit back and relax, enjoy the content, spend about 15 minutes with me, and let's get this party started. All right, man, jumping right into it like I promised. So, first things first, I have my test light tied into my negative battery terminal. I had to extend it, but that is what it is. So, what we want to do, we want to find our power wire from the truck and our power wire from the other side. I got to be honest, I don't really remember. So, let's get over here. We're going to turn these headlights on, right, because I got to get some power. And then we're gonna figure all this out and make sure. My son likes to ride with the high beams. So the passenger light, not the passenger. So the headlights are on, non-high beam. Now this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set you up real quick. I gotta try to get y'all in a spot where y'all can see what's going on. Probably right there. Now, the first thing we wanna do is find our power wire from the truck. So we have a tan and brown, a tan and white, a green and black, and a green or gray and white. It might be gray and white. So we're just gonna touch them, right? We know the headlights are on to the truck, so we should have power to these wires. So we got nothing on the gray and white. We got nothing on the green and black. And we have some power coming from the tan and white. So with that, we know the tan and white is going to be our live wire with the headlights on from the truck. This is from the truck. Now from the headlight socket itself, right? So we have a black, a blue, and a yellow. So we want to figure out which one's the power wire coming from the driver's side headlight to here, and then we can color code it in our mind with the yellow, black, or blue. So right off the bat, we're gonna poke the yellow one, nothing. We're gonna poke the black one, nothing. Then we're gonna poke the blue one, oh, power. There's power. So we know that our tan and white wire from the truck and our blue wire from our socket is our power wire for low beam. Now I need to go over there and turn the high beams on, and we need to find that out too, so we make sure them wires are tied in correctly. So let me do that. All right, high beams are on. So let's see what circuit is what. We know tan and white is low beam. We're gonna touch it, nothing. With the high beams on, there's nothing. The green and black, or the black with green stripe, should I say, nothing. And the white with gray stripe is our power. So gray and white is high beam, tan and white is low beam, black and green is probably your signal. We're gonna go back to the socket because we need to figure out which one's which on the light socket. So we know that the blue one is power for the low beam. We're gonna go ahead and hit it, nothing. We're gonna hit the yellow one, nothing. And then we're gonna hit the black one. The black one is power. So we know that the gray and white, or the white with gray stripe, is your high beam power from the truck. Your white and tan is your power low beam from the truck. Your blue wire from your socket is power low beam. Your black wire is power high beam from your socket. We're gonna jump back into this. I got the battery disconnected. I went ahead and tied them together to do a hard reset while I'm doing this. And DIY Dad showed up. There's that old 04 Hemi Ram. We got a bunch of Hemi Rams out here. We're loving it. So I'm gonna set y'all back up right here. It seemed like a really good spot. Let me get this camera right. Kind of like that, I believe. Now I got y'all in the corner. So I went ahead and I pulled the light bulb out so I had a little better access to my wires. I went ahead, I crimped some wires to lengthen these. So we have high beam power, low beam power. I do believe this is my signal wire right here, which would be black with a green stripe. And I did kind of mislabel them wires. So it's white with a gray stripe, black with a green stripe, and white with a tan stripe. So white with the gray stripe is high beam power. White with a tan stripe is low beam power. Now, we also know, so also with that, I want to state that if you need to know the color of the wires from the truck on the driver's side, go back to the other video and check it out. And I'll show you in that video. I really don't feel like taking the tip them out and getting all that out. So I do have a video on that. If you want to check it out, go check it out. I don't know if that camera's right. Let me readjust. There we go. Maybe that's a little better. So we know that the blue wire to the light socket is our low beam power, and the black wire to the light socket is the high beam power. Now that I have it disconnected and I have it tied together so it won't short out. So this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna cut, wrong cutters. So we're gonna cut, and I wanna cut it right here at the socket because I need a little bit of this wire because the color code's in my mind, and the 3 wires coming from the driver's side headlight are all black wires. So we're gonna cut, actually we're gonna cut the black wire right there and the blue wire right there. All right, and this is what we're gonna do. I'm almost afraid that I'm gonna have to go get some more butt connectors. I think these are gonna be the wrong size. Besides that, let's just jump right into this. So we're gonna strip this. Looks like it's probably a 14 gauge wire. Probably not, probably a 12. And you don't want them long, right? Because not that much of it. It was a 12 gauge wire. These here are 12 gauge wires. But like I was stating, so you don't want a lot, right? Because a lot will not fit into that butt connector. Only a little does. Which really ain't a big deal if you trim off too much. Just trim up your copper. Just trim your wire up a little bit. Now that we got that, so this is what we're gonna do next. So we know blue is low beam. Let's get these wires straight. These wires were all mixed up. I didn't really care for that. And then we're gonna take a butt connector. Right here. And we're gonna put it right here. Hopefully it'll fit in there. Yep, it fits. So that works. Got a little piece of rubber right there, guys. Rubber time. There's DIY Dad. There he is, man. There he is. He's here. He's alive. So we're going to stick that in there like so. Get my little handy dandy crimping tool. And then we're gonna crimp it only on one side. Just like that. And now when you crimp these, tug on them a little bit, right? You don't want it to just come right out. So give it a little tug, make sure it's crimped on there correctly. Get another butt connector here. You see, you can't really see, but that's a little bit long. So we're gonna trim it because I want it to fit right. Just snip the end off like that. Retwist. Perfect. Crimpers are actually color coded. You can see red, blue, yellow. That's where you crimp with. Whatever color your connector is what you're going to use to crimp it. Crimp it down. Crimp it good. Like that. Same principle. Tug on it. Perfect. I had to get some things together, man. I had to cut some zip ties, make some space. So, we are tying the wires in together. I already showed y'all how to follow them down. Like I also stated, if you need to know the color of the wires on the other side, I do not believe they match the passenger side. Go back and check the video and I'll show you in it. So here we go. We know this is the blue side. Ooh, they barely fit in there. We're gonna cram them in there. Right? We're gonna see if this helps. And then you're gonna crimp anyway because you wanna make sure, then pull on it, right? Snug on it a little, pull on it a little bit and make sure it's not loose or it's not gonna come undone. So there's that one. Now this here is your white, which I was calling gray wire, but I really do believe, guys, that's a blue line. So it's white with a blue line, not gray. Had y'all messed up with that one. So we're gonna trim this up shorter. You know it's gotta fit inside that butt connector. And then the only wire we have loose left is this black one, which we already know, that's our high beam power. Okay, so we got it trimmed up. So we're gonna do the same thing. It's pretty simple. Now I am gonna leave what I do believe is the signal wire. I'm gonna leave it, I'm not gonna tie it in. I might have to, but at this point, we're gonna try to get away with not doing it. So we're gonna twist them together. Here's our black wire with the butt connector, and we're gonna cram it in there. And it barely fit, but it fit. I definitely needed the blue butt connectors a little bit bigger, but this worked. And then we're gonna crimp. And we're gonna crimp, and we're gonna crimp one more time, just to be on the safe side, guys. And then we're gonna pull. So that's that. All right, since DIY Dad's here, go hit, never mind. Let me tie that battery back in. So we're about to tie this battery back in. I wanted to show y'all, I use my cleaner, clean my terminals. You want good clean terminals. Plus there was a little bit of corrosion on there. So we're gonna tighten them up real quick. Here, Dad, hold this camera for a second. Let me tighten this up and then we're gonna turn these lights on. Might as well do it while we're on the air, baby. On the air. Live. Oh, careful. So like I've always told you guys, man, and I stick to it, I don't care if you do not have a good connection on your battery and your terminal spins, just the smallest bit. You are gonna have starting problems. You're gonna have dim light problems. Truck's not gonna wanna run right. You're gonna have a lot of problems. So make sure that your battery terminals are secure. Just like that. Look, it looks like I left the headlights on. Yep, I did. So that one come right on. Now I need to check. I gotta make sure that's not my high beams, because that's really not the issue. That is not my high beams. I'll show y'all. Look, I'll turn them on. See the blue light? High beams off. So let's look at these again. On. And look at that. It's not on. Oh, sorry guys. it is on. I forgot it was hanging inside the truck. I hadn't put the bulb back in yet. But it is on. Now we're gonna check the high beams because I wanna make sure that works. Plus I wanna start the truck and see what it does. So let's start the truck real quick before we carry on. There we go. So we know the lamp light's gonna be back or stay on because I didn't tie it in like that. Now, driver's side headlight, passenger side headlight. Now we'll turn the high beams on. Getting a little ahead of ourselves here. High beams on, see the blue light? Off, on. Now, we're gonna check and make sure that works. High beam, on. And high beam, on. Dad, go turn them off. Just pull the blinker switch towards you. We'll see it change real quick. There you go. So, I will have to give y'all an update with that, and I will. We're gonna get everything put back together. We're gonna let that ride just like it is for now. If he has any more problems, I'll let y'all know. If he does not, I'll let y'all know. So with all that, keep living the dream, doing your thing, and I do personally believe this will fix our problem.